Today I'm looking at Mountain R by Jacques Jouet. This book was published by Dalkey Archive. It was originally published in France in 1996. I was really interested in reading this book mostly because of the translator here, Brian Evenson. Evenson was a Mormon bishop whose writing some people in the community thought was too violent. So he said, fuck that noise, and excommunicated himself. I actually didn't know too much about this writer here, Jacques Jouet. Apparently he's very prolific in France in multiple different forms, like poetry, novels, short stories, plays, radio plays. And though I couldn't really see what the game or formula or constraint in this book was, I could tell that he was very interested in formal innovation, especially the fact that this book is comprised of 3 parts, each type of vocalized form. The project here is to create a mountain that's 1,500 meters tall and would solve all of the country's problems, help stimulate the economy, increase revenue through tourism, somehow put a stop to immigration. They would also export the idea of building a mountain to other countries as if such an idea could be licensed. This president is knowledgeable in the language of seduction, and he knows no matter how farcical the stuff that he says is, that he would still be able to draw people into his ideas, even the naysayers. Reading this speech section is almost like a kind of deja vu. Even though this book was published decades ago, it's very similar to the kind of things you hear our current president saying. The second section is in an interview format where later on in time the construction of this project kind of ceases and people are reflecting back on that time in their history. They abandoned the idea of this mountain being empty inside, perhaps thinking that it would just house a bunch of criminals. So they decided at first to use glass as the filler material, and that soon became replaced with just pure garbage that they salvaged from various dumps. As this mountain grew, it became more unstable, and tragedy would occur with the construction workers having major accidents. And the third section here is the trial, where we have a writer that was commissioned by the president himself to create an epic or ode to the mountain. As it draws to a close, all the pieces start fitting together like a puzzle. There's that level of creeping evil that pokes up through the surface, and then at the end you're just wounded a little bit. But the book is so short and slight that I don't think it's going to be any kind of mortal wound. It's really more like a cautionary tale, kind of Orwellian in that regard. Ultimately, what I enjoyed about this book was the formal aspect of it being split up into 3 parts, kind of like 3 nipples sticking up out of the earth, which made the suggestion that there was more breast beneath the surface. But not only that, this book is just a section of that animal, that there's other parts to this republic that this author has created in a cycle of novels, this being just one of them in the La République Romane cycle. I don't think a lot of these have been published in English, maybe just a couple, but I would be really interested in seeing maybe a collected volume of other books that take place in this realm. Overall, still a good, entertaining read. Mountain R by Jacques Jouet. Thanks for watching the review, guys. Let me know if you've read any Jacques Jouet or Brian Evenson, or who your favorite Olympian writers are, and we'll see you guys on the next video.